Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X today, sort of. This is a new project. We're going to start from scratch. Now, we are going to... I'm going to figure out how JSON, exporting to JSON worked. I had a lot of thoughts last night about saving and how we're saving it. And I just want to see kind of what the process is for saving Godot resource to a JSON file, since it has native JSON built in to it. That is the plan, to use that. I don't really like JSON that much because of how it looks, but that's what we can use. I don't know. I wish we could just use the resources. The problem that we're having is, if we look at this here, we can go in and we can kind of look at this. It's so basic. So there's a couple of things that we discovered yesterday. It's basically going to be impossible. There's something going on where we can't see in 2D 4X. We can't see what the variables right in the inspector. I don't know what's going on with that. It just doesn't work right. But this is, wow, look at the different size. This is pretty much gibberish. When save, you can see some of this stuff and change some of the stuff, but I want to see what it looks like as a JSON file. And so instead of taking this like pretty complicated save file and trying to get that to work, I want to start with something simpler. And then once we, like, this isn't the end of the world. Like this, we could use this. But I just want to see what it looks like as JSON. So what we'll do, we'll just create like a simple project that saves the disk from JSON or to JSON. And, well, I don't know if we'll bother loading it. Maybe we have to, and maybe we'll load it as well. With what do they call it? Not embedded, but with a resource inside a resource. And we'll just kind of wing it. Man, this computer, I'm always bitching about this computer, but it's really on its last leg. I restarted it before the stream and it wouldn't come back on. It would just, this was an endless restart loop. And every time I use it, it has problems. So I guess I can't put off buying a new computer. There's this dead tree in my backyard dying. And it's going to cost some ridiculous amount to get chopped down because it's quite tall. It's going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And I wish I knew how much it would cost so that I could like plan that into my life. It also blocks the sun, so it'd be nice that it, it sucks that it's dying. But I guess, climate change. All right, let's look at this shit. Let's start with a new. I guess we'll do a new folder for scripts. I was thinking we'll just wing it without folders, but whatever. We gotta have a scripts folder. We're not gonna print anything to here. We're just gonna have it all go to the console. So we'll make this bigger. We'll make a new folder for our resources. We'll have a couple of resources. Of course, I get like a stuffy nose the minute I start streaming. I don't know why that happens like every single fucking time. We need a Node2D. We're going to use this. Chat GPT yesterday gave us some hints on this, how this is going to work. Recursive, is that the word? So yeah, we'll have like one inside the other. So what is it? What was it actually saying? Yeah, recursive conversion. The other thought I had yesterday or last night was that when we save the faction stuff, it has the faction data, it has everything inside of that. So it actually has everything when we save that after the game started. And that's kind of where we were running into the problems too, because it's all you know, one thing's inside of it another. The faction has the county data has the population data has whatever. There's county improvements in there. So we could just save each list individually in like a folder, and so each save game would be its own folder, and then we could just load those back into the correct spots. So that is something. So we could do it not all embedded. Oh, I closed that. Why do I keep closing stuff? Jesus Christ. So instead of having these all saved and embedded, it would just be a bunch of single individual lists that we would load back into their correct spots. Because the confusion is going to be where some of this stuff is like, you know, I keep wanting to use the term embedded, but I don't think that's the right term. But it's inside another thing. It's a variant. Huh. Anyways, we'll have to. Well, this is gonna be a pain. But I knew that I waited too long for the saving because I could have pre-planned it better. Basically, everything I do should have been done in a different order. So what does this thing do? So then we have a case that converts this thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're using a var. So we have like resource to dictionary. So let's do this like really simple. Nested. There's the word. Walk through every property. If it's a resource, recursively convert it to a dictionary. If it's an array, process elements recursively. If it's a dictionary, some of them are just straight up, we're going to do this. Let's do this very simply to start, and we'll make it more complicated. So let's create a new script. It's going to be a resource, so we can go up here. We're going to do C#. It's going to be resource. Whoops. We're going to call this top level resource, top level data. And then we'll create this, and then we'll actually, no, it's fine. Then we'll create a, no, it's not fine. Then we'll open this up. We have put a few things. What the fuck is this? Yeah, trust and open. We have to put a few things in this empty thing. We probably need a namespace. You know, actually, I think it will, yeah, it's going to tell us. Yeah, just put it wherever. Perfect. Then we will go, we're not going to push this to like, get this fucking thing out of here. We're not going to push this to GitHub or anything. We're just going to, this is just a, whatever. So let's start with we need export global class, global class. We need export. Let's do a string called top level string, and then we'll have like an ands, yeah, and then we'll have like a dictionary. No, that's enough for this. No, then we'll have a second level. We need to create it right now. We'll have a second level resource. Second level. What a data. And then we'll open this one up. We'll do this. Then we'll do this. Now we need our global thing. And then we'll have inside here we'll put a string. We don't have any lists or anything. We probably should. I was thinking there, we'll do export. You know, we also could do, yeah, let's do this as well. We'll leave something that we'll put something in here that doesn't have an export on it, just to see what happens. This is gonna be, I think we need these to be public. No, I guess they can be private. Sure. I don't think I even put private on these, did I? Oh, I did. Private string, second level string, export. Yeah, we'll do an int, and then we'll have one that's not private int not exported int. All right. So we got these two things. Let's go back to here and let's put in an export. Oh, we don't have any bools, huh? Second level data. We need a private on here. What's your fucking problem? Initialize it? No. Why do you have a problem with this? Second level data. This is a node. Here's the problem. There we go. All right. So we have two of these things. Let's then put on this thing. We'll just call it main. It's not, fuck you and your GD thing. We'll call it, no, node2d. We want to do that. We'll put this in here. And then we need our thing here. And to make this more complicated, we'll do export. And we'll do top level data array, all data. And then we'll build this. We got to build up our structure here, our testing structure first. This is going to be not very fun. What the fuck is this doing over here? Then we're going to put in, we need to go over here. And I don't think I'm going to make a new, we're going to go create new resource. We're going to say top level data. We're going to say test, top level data test. Single wings, how's it going? 1, we're going to do a JSON test here. And then we're going to duplicate this. And we're going to call it 2. I was just whining about how I actually don't like how JSON looks either. I was patiently waiting for this to appear over here. So at this one, we'll call it TLS1. We'll put some number in here, 1. And then the second level, we need a second level thing. We're going to do a test and then write it to disk. And then we're going to do a resource second level. Second level test 1. Test second level data level. What? How's your life going? You got back into your things, and then we'll say second level data 1. We'll put a 10 in here, and then over here we're gonna drag this over. Nope. Over here we're gonna drag this way over here, and then we're gonna go same with this one. Drag this way over here. The course building route? What is it? What is the course building route? TLS2. And we're gonna, the other one I did was 1, so we're gonna do that. I hate this over here, by the way. I mean, I can move it. All right, so we have a bunch of, we have a resource. And then we can put in this resource in here. And then we'll add another one. And we'll put this resource in here. So now we have 2 resources. What the fuck are you saying? Oh. We have 2 resources, and we'll just run this. Nothing should happen. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. It should do absolutely nothing. which is what we got. All right. So now we have our thing that we're going to save. We're going to save all data. Full stack creative, learning to build and make all types of things from apples. I'm starting bio creation. From apps to songs and games. And that's a course that you're going to teach, because that seems pretty awesome. Public override void. And then on ready, we're going to say save data to JSON. And how the fuck does this work? And this is what we'll write here. This is what I was talking about, this throw new system and thing. I should have left this in that one spot, because it would have been nice to get like an actual error. That's a good idea. You should. Especially one-on-one. I think we've talked about that, like trying to find like a mentor, to help you like get through stuff, because sometimes you're missing simple stuff and you just don't know you're missing simple stuff. And if you had someone to ask, like, what do these brackets mean? You know what I mean? Like, and you can Google it and stuff, but sometimes it gets, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I know that this is an array, but what happens if you don't know that simple thing and you're just and you're looking at a tutorial and they don't mention this thing? That whole thing, I don't know. I've thought about doing a few tutorials on my channel where I went over the extreme basics of Godot, because there was like all the things I ran into. I think I even started working on a script for it. All the things I ran into, like coming from no knowledge of C#, like what is this stuff? Like, go through like, what's a namespace? Why does that use? And actually, what was kind of interesting about that is when I was writing the script for it, I was having to look up things because I wasn't 100% sure about everything I was going to say. So it was like a good learning experience of, because sometimes you just do things because it's that you have to, and like, why does it say override? Like that type of thing. Casper, how's it going? If you claim that something's for everything, that means it's useful for. That is a common thing. But so you're saying about if they teach anything. Specialization is good, but I think you're not saying like you would say, oh, I'll teach you anything, but you're saying like you can help someone create something with learning the full stack creative would help you build what you need to build, is what you're saying, right? That's what I assumed. And it could be whatever. All right, so let's look at this ChatGPT. Let's try to save this let's start afresh here. And we'll use these. I'm going to ask it less vague questions. In Godot 4.5, I have a JSON, or no, I don't. I have a Godot resource with another resource inside of it. I would, I have a Godot resource array with and each resource in the array has another resource inside of it. I want to save this to disk, save this to disk as a JSON file. Oh, I didn't put C# in here. No, if I can teach anything in that line, I can write music, I can write full stack, and I can learn to make a game. Let's see. Suppose you have this. Yep, that's pretty similar. Convert to a serial. So it's having this as a list. I was hoping we could do this without looking at. Oh, you know what though? Let's make this a Godot array collections array, because that's what we, and then what is this? We gotta go, we gotta put this in here. Let's do that. And I think we're gonna need to re-drag these over here. Let's do this again. Really? You don't care? All right. I guess because I didn't rename the thing. So what is this thing doing? You can't serialize resource directly, but you can manually extract the data. Is that true? I think if it has export on it, it's already serialized. That's kind of like the point of that, the word export. I'm going to ask it. It's going to lie to me. Doesn't? If it has export in front of the variable, isn't? No, it does. No. No, dude. No, I started a new one deliberately because I don't want its dumbass, stupid memory to start pulling shit out of its ass. No, you want to often restart because it's too stupid. If it has export in front of the variable, isn't it already serialized? No, I used to do that all the time. I used to just continue the old conversation and it would get so confused and it would start like arguing and shit and it would pull weird things out. It'd be like, well, you said this. And you'd be like, shut up. Yeah, no, I definitely, sometimes you want to start fresh. In fact, I've been mid-conversation with one, like like I'll start a new conversation, be talking for a long time with it, and then I'll be like, no, fuck this, we're starting over. And I'll tell it like it will start trying to pull from that other conversation. I'll be like, no, we're starting over. Get rid of that shit out of your mind, because it just gets so confused. And I think so, like in this one, it's talking about vehicles and stuff, because down here I was talking about vehicles. I'm pretty sure that's what it was doing. And I don't want it to. I want it to shut the fuck up and not remember this time. Okay, so export in Godot is only for the Godot export inspector and for internal binary or text saving. It has nothing to do. Oh, okay. Is that what you said over here? Oh, I gotta skip this song. That is the argument starts happening. You're like, no, you're wrong. Shut the fuck up. The thing is with it is it almost sounds insulted sometimes, and it never will say, oh, you're right, I'm wrong. It will say, it might be like, oh, you're right, but it's not my fault. Kind of the thing. One time it was kept telling me my code was wrong, and it would be like, well, you wrote this wrong. It would say, you have a typo here or something. I'm like, you wrote the code. What is this thing? So back here, you have to manually extract the fields. They're using that variant thing again. And var. Of course, I told it never to use var in my presence. And then what does this thing say? If you have many nested resources, is it still 100 and whatever? In Poland, I was looking at this computer's like on its last leg, and it was like, when I restarted it before I started streaming, it kept going over and over, and it kept just restarting over and over. And every once in a while, it will do this thing where it says that the CPU is too hot and it can't start, which I've never seen on any other computer in my life. I thought maybe it was because of that, and I was looking at the CPU heat, because I was able to get it to go to the BIOS. Oh, I don't have it up. I thought I left it up because I knew I'd forget the heat. I think it was 54 Celsius, and I was like, that's almost as hot as or that's hotter than when Casper is. Okay, so we have a dictionary that we're gonna have this resource list. So we're going through the outer one. We're using this object thing. And then we have so this is a list of dictionaries? Man, I used to use lists of dictionaries when I first started all the time. All right, let's see how this works here. I'm gonna move this over to my other monitor. Let's copy this. What is it? What are they calling this first step? They're calling it nothing. They don't have it. All right, so we're gonna go through all data, and we'll add this in. So this is a C# list, and we're gonna go, this is gonna be top level data, and we'll call it top level data. And so we're gonna create a dictionary. Man, we have to do that for every one? There's no easier way to do this? I got 6,000 fucking variables. There isn't any easier way to do this. I have 6,000 million variables. This is going to confuse it. So I was watching Crystal Mess before I started streaming, and he was showing off some dude who uses like 4 agents, AI agents at once to code. And I don't know if they get anything useful out of that, but it seems to me like that would be just an epic pile of dog shit was what would be return. You talk with it like a human, so you gotta stop that. The problem, because then you're gonna start empathizing with it, and it's not a human, and that's the whole problem. Is that humans are always into to empathy. Not all of them, obviously, but it took part of what I said. But yeah, no, if you start treating it like it's a human, you're gonna start feeling like it's a human. And so we gotta like train ourselves that these are not what? Oh, I thought there was a fucking tilde above that. Oh, these are not humans or pets or living things. One of my friends. So I was telling I saw on Reddit that people were, this is right when GPT came out. That there were people like who were testing it by like asking it strange questions, asking it loops, and trying to basically break ChatGPT, and they were very successful. And my friend was like, man, that just seems so mean. And I was like, mean to what? Mean to the LLM? It doesn't have feelings. And if we start thinking they have feelings, then we got problems. And that's the problem, you know, and if we start programming them with feelings, then we have problems too. You know, all the movies, they always have feelings. They get feelings, and then we feel bad when we have to kill them. And so we just gotta, like, you know, it's not. It doesn't provide, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Because then if it doesn't provide it and we have to do all this shit anyways, you know, I do find myself thinking it, which is weird. I also notice I apologize to my cat a lot. Like, I'll be pouring food and some food will get on its head and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. Resource to JSON. The JSON class enables all data to be converted to a. This is useful for serializing data to save a file or send over a network. Stringify is used to convert any data type. Parse is used to. Look at these idiots. Oh, this is GD script. What are you using? Dot stringify. Why shouldn't we treat it like a human? Because we gotta train our brains to not have feelings for them when we have to turn them off. When they've gone rogue. I keep seeing all these news articles about people falling in love with AI, and I think it's probably like sensationalist journalism. Like, there isn't it's like probably one person it's happened to. You know, they want to marry the reason behind it is not what they're saying. You know, like this person fell in love, but in reality, like, they're trying to get a tax break or something stupid. C#, yeah. And is that what this thing is doing? Is using C# for that? Or is it... Open. So here's the stringify thing. And this is Godot. Looks like it. What about the C#? JSON serialization. It's got like a Z in there and stuff. One of my coworkers has a W, a Y, and a Z in their last name. Godot resources are not standard C# POCO classes. Let's see what this thing says. And you know, so originally, way back in the day when I actually used ChatGPT for this too. Saving to disk. So back to it getting confused and stuff. So when I originally was trying to save anything to disk, this is way back, I was really struggling because ChatGPT was using, half the time would be using the Godot stuff and half the time would be using C#, and I didn't know, I wasn't aware that that's what was going on because, you know, I was still learning and stuff, and so like I would get confused. M said, how's it going? Was the chat broken? Let me look over here. That reminds me. Let me double check my YouTube thing. And I also, let me skip this song. You know, I've had that happen. In fact, recently I had, What is this? Look at this. It's just a tongue ring, a mouth. What am I listening to? It's porn. It's not. It's some bad band. Bite my tongue. Let's listen to this here. So this is, it's bad. I had that MSED with, one day it was like in the bottom right hand corner. It kept saying something which I can't, like below chat. I do remember you from yesterday. It was saying something, and Control F5 is the solution to like 90% of web issues. And so I tried that and it didn't work, and I had to actually like refresh my Firefox. Weather forecast class. All right. Just class with public properties and one function to do the rest. Yeah, so this is what I remember this now from, once again, this is back when I was trying to do the initial save. And so, they were saying like, they were ChatGPT was telling me that, like mixing between Godot saving and C# saving, and so I was getting really confused because it was using this JSON serializer, and I was like, I have to use JSON? No, we're gonna do this. I'm doing a test. I want to see how it works to save to JSON first, and with like a test resources and stuff just to take a look. This is kind of usable, but we do have that one issue that we ran into yesterday with the population and all that. And the other idea I actually had was save everything individually. So we would save the faction data, and then we would like not save its baby, like the stuff that are nested inside of it. And then we would save the county data in its own thing. And then when we loaded the game, we would just reapply all that crap to where they go. There's also other ways. So this is back to the conversation of like pre-planning how you're saving your data. We actually could very easily tear all that shit out of it, so it's not all embedded inside of each other. It's not all nested. We could do it. I say very easily. It would be a fucking nightmare. But like, for example, each population knows where they live because the population can move around. So it knows where it lives. So we can have one giant list of population, and that is just pulled in when needed. Field of serialize must be public and have getters, setters. Load and deserialize works also, of course. So why was this thing complaining? What is a POCO class? Plain old class. I'm encountering the term more and more often. I wonder if only about plain classes it means something else. Plain old C# object. Just a normal class. No attributes describing infrastructure concerns or other responsibilities your domain objects shouldn't have. They don't derive from some special class, or they return any special types. Will I ever? No. Will I ever switch to Linux? No. I guess that's a, I guess it's possible. It's highly unlikely. I did some, a tiny bit of like JavaScript, and I had a Linux subsystem on here. The thing is, I like to play video games, and so I need a Windows machine for that. I know that the world's changing, and you can play video games on Linux and stuff, but it's highly unlikely that I would go to that. But I saw Linux desktop has a 5% market share. And the thing is that Windows is getting more and more shitty, and ads, just so many fucking ads, and it's just going to get worse. That's why I was originally like, no, and then I was like, well, you never know, actually. Godot is cross-platform, yeah, and you can export to Linux. Export as in export your project. I wish they had the word export. Yeah, I have a Mint thing that I haven't turned on for years. I'm sure it has quite a few updates. A Mint desktop that I've tried to give away. What happens on October 14th? So weather forecast program. I'm gonna fucking var. All right, so we have this. We got our so we have a weather forecast here. And then we just say stringify this thing. And then we write this to console, which is, equivalent to our GD print. Okay, so this seems pretty simple. So wait, then we have this JSON string, and that's all I want to put this to disk. So then this JSON string is what we need to put to disk. So this just serializes. Oh, you know where else I was seeing this was for multiplayer. It has you serialized to JSON when you send shit back and forth, like it was saying. Okay, so then we write all text to file name. Maybe we should start simpler here. Oh yeah, but they've already walked that back. The Windows 10 end of support. They say if you sign up for their free OneDrive, this is the dumbest shit. Microsoft is, man, the greedy motherfuckers. So if you sign up for their free OneDrive subscription or whatever, 1 year of OneDrive, you can extend your support of Windows 10. And I think they'll walk about more too, because the market share, Windows 10 versus Windows 11 usage is pretty bad. Windows 11, 51%. Okay, it's went up. But that's still awful. They're trying to push that through. And there's also like another thing too. I think it's $30 a year you can get for extended. You're like, why do you know this shit? Because it's my fucking day job. All right. We did like a security audit, and the guy who did the audit, you want an outside person to do the security audit. And he was just flipping out over the Windows 10 to Windows 11 thing. So this computer that I'm using right now also has that same CPU issue. So, and that's the thing. I got to buy a new computer anyways, but that's such bullshit. It's just such bullshit that they can suddenly just be like, no, your hardware is not good enough for us. And the thing is that's crazy too is that Windows 11 changed their parameters. So originally they were allowing different types, less TPS, TPM, different TPMs or whatever they're called. You guys know what I'm talking about. The chip that needs to be in there for the Windows 11 thing, and they've changed it since then to make it more restrictive. Okay, so what was this thing saying about this, though? It's not a POCO. Newton soft can only serialize, but if you make a plain so that mirrors your... Well, so then we're back to this thing, though. So then I would probably change everything to a public class or something. And then we would have it read all of those public classes from disk, and we would be back to the thing I don't want to do, which is we would have like a folder. It'd be the same as this. We'd have a folder of resources with like and we would manually go in with like whatever, writer and edit, each thing. Okay, this is a good example. We could edit this in here when we wanted to make changes instead of doing it in the inspector. So that's the thing that's crazy too, is some of the inspector stuff works. I wonder what the problem is with that. So we convert, so there's really no, we have to do that with every single thing. If we go back up to here, primitives. Conrad, how's it going? I've dropped by your stream a couple of times, Conrad, and you got you got a lot of people watching. That's congratulations. Good job. What do you do for save games, Conrad? You're using JSON? No save games. Just that's what we should do. Just no save games. You got to keep it running at all for all times. I kind of like this is because I was just thinking about, like, if we do some major changes, we're gonna have to refactor like the whole fucking game. And I was like, I kind of like refactoring. I kind of like tearing up Godot, or not Godot. Sorry, I read chat. I like tearing up my code and redoing it. There's something enjoyable about that. Yeah, I'm not too worried about code injection, but I'm more worried about how much of a pain in the ass it will be. I don't like reading JSON files. I don't like reading any text files, honestly. So we really got to do that. And then the string. I don't want to do that, though. And then we have this list of dictionaries. And then what do we do with this list? Oh, this is to get I know what this is. A plain text file. Why are so many people worried about code injection? It seems like such a low chance of happening. I can't think of any game ever that's had code injection. I would like to see a news article about that, honestly. Just a text file with all of the stuff. So how would you read it back in, though, from a straight text file? Because that is an option. Let's ask what this stupid thing. What if we just saved everything to text file? We are eventually, I forgot a letter there, eventually going to encrypt this data, period. So what? Read line. So the same way I'm reading the, yeah, so the same way I'm reading the names. In fact, the name thing may have been what I originally, I wonder how that works Oh, I don't have that up yet, right now. It would be this, what? It would be this massive, oh my God, yeah. We are gonna encrypt this. I know I keep pretending like I'm not encrypting the save name, but I do want to encrypt it for eventually. Right now, I don't give a shit because I want to actually be able to look at it. But I do want to keep the cheating to a minimum. Not editor safe. What is how did like CK3 and them open What does their save game look like? I don't know where their save games are. I have a feeling it's in like documents. Where is CK3 save game? I would assume Paradox. I would assume it's encrypted. Save games. Got a lot of save games here. Let's find somebody here. Lord Saruman of Isgard. We don't care about that guy. That mod's been torn apart at some point. This is going to be gibberish. I'm waiting patiently for this thing to load here. How does the time fly so fast? I haven't done anything. I've just been talking. Oh, this is... Wait, what? This is just plain? Do they not care? I know, it's huge, but... Come on. All right, we done crashing. You can do it. You can do it. This is just this is JSON, right? This looks like JSON with all the squigs. This is just plain. They don't even encrypt this shit. I wonder if it's because this is a mod. Let's find somebody that's a real. Well, who did I play recently? Was this vanilla? Yeah, this is vanilla. How big was this file? I didn't even look. This one's 2. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in. Oh, there is some gibberish at the bottom. There's a lot of gibberish at the bottom. Okay, that's not. I remember back in the day, like, I remember when I got a 10. Okay, so beyond this is when it looks like they do have some stuff encrypted or something. Yeah, so this is what your dude looks like, but I was about to say, I remember back in the day when I got my first 10 meg hard drive and was very stoked. And I actually found it like 20 years later in a box. And I was like, I should somehow try to get this thing to work. And then I decided I was too lazy. Yeah, so this is just what your person looks like. That's what all this is. So the other stuff is encrypted, but this just looks like a JSON file to me, right? JSON beautifier. Well, okay. Why isn't everything dark mode these days? This actually is. So this is part of the problem of why I don't like JSON stuff. Is it just looks like gibberish after a while, but I guess a text file would be the same problem. Let's go back to this stupid thing. What? Okay, what about Squirrellight? Because that was brought up. I really don't want to use that, but I haven't ever even looked into it. Okay, so we'll have to like do tables. It still thinks I'm talking about vehicles because I answered a bunch of vehicle questions. You cannot run this program in DOS mode. What program? When does it? I don't know what that is. There used to be ways you can change all of your DOS stuff. I assume you still can with like not macros. So if CK3 is just saving some garbage to your file, I don't think we need to go Squirrellight. Open. Oh, I know. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, like if you open an exe or something, you can go in and edit. That's just probably sitting somewhere. There's a lot of stuff like that. All right, I don't want to use SQLite, Squirrellight. I keep remembering there's this, you know, the game that became Arma. There was some other game before it. It was called Operation Flashpoint. Operation Flashpoint. I don't remember which one. I think it was Dragon Rising. Operation Flashpoint, Dragon Rising, copyright protection. That's not how you spell that. So they had, if you got the cracked version, is this maybe it's not Dragon Rising, because this is like 20 years ago. And these people are talking about 4 years ago. Accuracy going down. So they put in this thing, and I think it was this game, but if you got the cracked version, it somehow checked, and over time, because it's an FPS, your accuracy got worse and worse and worse. So you could play like the beginning of it, but as you played, it got worse and worse until it was unplayable. And I thought that was pretty brilliant. Can I make an operating system from scratch? No, I have no, I don't know how to do that. I had a friend years ago who that was his final in college, was to make an OS. All right, so this looks fine, but I don't think it's necessary. So I got to make a decision. I guess we're just back to the JSON thing. I like the text idea. DTO plus JSON. What is DTO here? Oh, come on, fingers. A DTO, you can easily serialize it with standard. What is this? It's professional advice? What? You're not a professional. If this is a serious project, it's very serious, right? DTO classes and serialize them with system text JSON. It's clean, safe, and future-proof. If you want, I can write you a ready-to-use helper to convert Godot into automatically. Let me know. Okay. So does chat agree with this thing? You always got to double check this motherfucker. With this slightly more setup up front, I think at this point it doesn't matter. It's all we're talking about tearing the shit out of everything. So if we're gonna tear that shit out of everything, let's make it so that let's do this. We gotta tear the shit out of everything anyways. So let's make that so that we never have to tear the shit out of everything for this. We'll have to tear the shit out of everything for something else, but not with this thing. Let's make this work forever. We never have to go back and look at this. So I think what the problem is, and why I'm like, I don't want to do that, is I think what we're going to have to do is every time we add a new variable, we're going to have to add it into this crap, which I always forget. And then I'm wondering why I'm getting a bug. And then I have to, after 30 minutes, 2 hours of bug, oh, fuck, I forgot to put the thing in there, because this is happening with the copying. So, yeah, do you guys agree that this is probably, we'll have this thing do... Okay, I'm going to throw one more thing in here for Stinkle Wings. What about YAML? It's fundamentally the same as JSON. It's just texture. It's not relational like Squirrellight, and not as strict as JSON. Less noise. This is the part that Stinkle Wings doesn't like, is this noise. And I kind of agree with him. I do agree with him. So what about if I'm using... So wait. So I'm going back to making these all public classes. So I'm gonna have to have a public class. Let's ask it this. What? Oh, look at this. It's got like a nice little color-coded thing. What is blue? All right. What was my question I had for it? And I'm going to take a break in a second here. I already forgot what my question was. Oh, can you show me a Godot resource to GDO conversion code? What are my system specs? Dog shit. They're pretty bad. This one's gonna go. I rebooted it earlier and it wouldn't do it. Okay, so this is the step-by-step. We got our resource. We got our other resource. Yeah, and then for full serialization, I was in deep thought, like, why even have these as Godot resources at that point? We would just go back to them all being public classes. So with you were saying yesterday, right, that you got something to work from boot. What's the necessity is the mother of invention? Is that part of what's going on? Is crappy computers has inspired you to improve shit like that, or is it something else? All right, so how do we do this? Convert to DTO. Return a new one of these. What? So all we're doing is we're just going through and you piece of shit. You know the issues where the resources won't copy, and I write those things. That's basically what this is. Usage example, serialization to JSON. So we have our resource. once again, thinking there, we convert it, and then we use the C# thing. I get angry at it sometimes too. Don't talk to right. I see. Was I being too nice to it? Like it was a, yeah. Give me, you stupid asshole. I was talking to ChatGPT, not chat. Chat. I wasn't calling chat the stupid asshole. I was calling this thing. Okay, so we'll do that. Well, this is what we're gonna do. We'll convert this to a DTO. We'll save it. We'll look at it. We'll load it. We'll do it, and then we'll think about changing it all to public classes, because what the fuck is the point of having a resource at this point? So I don't have my other, well, we could just open it, and wait patiently. I really, like I was saying yesterday, I really want to try to use the Godot engine to its fullest extent, but there's just so many things. And, Chad has been telling me you're never going to be able to get that to work. From like, they're like, no, man, you're fucking yourself. Your future self is going to be, but I'm still like, I still want to try it, So all of these, we would have to have like a .json file or .yaml, whatever. And then we would read it from disk, and these would load into we would have like the public classes with them. So we wouldn't be able to edit them through here, which was what I was trying to do. We would have to edit all of this through, we would open them up in Writer or whatever, Notepad or whatever. I mean, we could still do it this way, and we could just convert them back and forth, but I feel like, what's the fucking point? Like, why have that extra step? You know what I mean? Like, so this would do the same exact thing we were already doing. So in our main game, which we're going to move over this stuff, we already did it. We already moved it over. So it's in auto load. And where the fuck is our auto load? Here, let's just type up here. So in this script, we want a new window. In this script, we're loading all of these Godot resources. I don't know why I'm throwing quotes. We would just change this to read from disk, and each one of it would read each JSON file, and they would be like all of the activities, but we wouldn't call it data then. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was trying to do, though, Casper, as I was trying to make it so we can manipulate them. What? Wrong one. They all could be manipulated in here. I don't like manipulating text files. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't like it. I feel like you should be able to edit your game in the editor. What a strange. We'd have to do a test with that too, because I'm not quite sure. So how do you load? How does this? What does loading look like? What does loading look like? Because we can just skip. We've been talking. We keep getting sidetracked and talking about pirate software. I guess not a lot, but I actually watched his stream a little bit today, and he had a folder with all of his and I was like, motherfucker, I don't want to do that. He had multiple. He just had folder after folder of all of his stuff, which is the same as what I'm doing here, but it's at least wherever. At least it's in the game. What does this code look like? So here's the convert back to resource. I want to look, wait, where's the, did I scroll too far? Read the file. So what if we had a bunch of the DTO in a folder and wanted to read each one and put it in a list? Then we would get rid of all of our Godot array collections, which I actually would be glad about that. Why doesn't this these candles actually take? You know, I got some. So I went to this work party and they gave me a bunch of garbage. No, it wasn't all garbage, but one of the things was a mango, not popsicle, sucker, whatever. That thing was so gross. It's like maybe I don't like mangoes. It tasted very artificial, is what made me think about it. Okay, so this is exactly the same, pretty much. We can check if it's null. While this file is not empty, we look at the .json. We get this thing, and then we add it to this list. So it's basically the same thing. We'll go back to this weathercast. Oh, and okay, I see what you're saying over here with this. Where this big green thing is? So this is like casting this as... All right, I'm gonna take a break. This is a big decision, right? I'm not sitting here like... I'm just thinking about the big decision. All right, I'm gonna go take a quick break and I'll be right back. Let me throw up my break timer, and because I don't want to change it. I don't want to have to go back and like 6 months from now, a year from now, and be like, oh wait, we really wanted to do what, you know what I mean? Like we should have been doing Squirrellight the whole time. All right, I'll be right back. I put on my hoodie there. Fucking cord. Fucking cord, man. Gotta return my headset from yesterday. Today. They had a whole thing. If the box is destroyed, it's like, yeah, you have to destroy the box. Look at the instructions. I guess maybe you're not supposed to look at the instructions. Let's see. Break timer's off. All right. So this is what we're going to do here. We're going to go back to this. We don't need this open. We know what we're doing over there, which is nothing today. We're going to go back to this thing. We'll do it first this way, just because we have it this way, I think. But I'm pretty sure we're going to do it as a public class. I'm trying to think if there was any downside, and I don't think there was, because I had population data as a public class for a very, very long time. Before I turned, because it didn't really need to be a resource, but then I ran into something where it was like, I guess I'll turn this into a resource. We could... Can I just be lazy and put a public class inside this? I think I might be able to. Let's see what happens. Top level public class. It doesn't really matter if these are private or whatever. It doesn't like this, we'll put PC at the end. Oh, maybe that's not what it doesn't like. Oh, we need a fucking constructor though. I did think about this when I was outside. I was like, oh, we'll have to have a constructor for all of these things. There's actually, I think you can select them all and hit Alt period or something. So we have a construct. What's your fucking problem? What's a primary? Oh, we just put it all, there's just nothing? That's what we just do that? All right, whatever. Let's go back to this thing and we'll do the same thing. We won't be able to drag and drop things in there, but we had issues with that anyways. Dragging and dropping things in there. Change all members to private. Are they not? And add export attribute. You can't put an export attribute on these. Actually, you could with these two, I think. Is that what you mean? I don't think you can do it on this one. That's not going to really help me much. Oh, it did let us. Usually it gets upset when there's these, like, things. Is that what you're talking about? Let's go back. Keep going back. This is how I normally look at public classes. It was back in the day when I had a lot of public classes, because originally they were all public classes pretty much, and then the only one that really stuck around was population data. For a very long time it was a public class. But it said convert it to a primary constructor, which I don't know what that is, and that's when it did this thing. Let's do that with this one too. Public class. What did we call the other one? Top level. Second level public class. This is just temporary shit. Oh my god, fingers. He made simple class with 3 public members and it complained. And it changed to its way. But is this wrong? Can you not do this primary constructor thing? Let's see. So we need this. Export isn't, export isn't going to do us any good because we won't be able to see this in the inspector anyways. because the public class doesn't sit in the inspector. I don't think. Oh, you're talking about like now it's not asking, and this one it wants this thing. What does this do? I'm curious. Let's go back to our main here. Export. It doesn't really matter. Private, top level, public class. Initialize from the constructor. Public. What do you just, what is your problem? Never ending. Yeah, so you can't export this. So that wouldn't have, so yeah, the export thing is pointless. What the fuck is this thing doing here? Get out of here. Whoops. Too many control X's there. Oh, you just don't like, so I like to, so it depends. If it works, then I learn. If like this is a thing that's right, this is back to like kind of the AI thing. So I've seen it do this before where with Visual Studio too, where it asks for it like to make this a primary constructor or whatever. And it's like something I'm not like really comfortable with because I've never used that. And like, I should probably just look it up. C# primary constructor. Like what? Oh, wait. Go back. Like what is, why? The ability of a class instruction C# to have more than one constructor provides for generality, but at the expense of some tedium and declaration syntax because the constructor input and the class state needs to be cleanly separate. Look at all this gibberish. I love it when they do just little letters for things. Initialize class without constructor. Initialize class without constructor. Get the fuck out of my face. You can use an object initializer. I mean, this doesn't really matter. None of this shit matters right now. Without calling the constructor. How to initialize objects by using an object initializer. Let's see what this says. But with public fields, you don't need even one constructor. Oh, is that how that works? So if you put a public in here, it doesn't need to be, so if this is public, it doesn't need the constructor? So okay, so what is the constructor for then? Is this some sort of like protection? I wish I still had that the public data constructor because there is. I wonder if I can find it. Bungalow, how's it going? Let's see. How's your game going? What is your, all right, we're going through, we're getting everyone's opinion. What are the choices? Not here. It's somewhere. Here we go. Here we have these dotted. These are the options for saving that we're thinking about using here. YAML, JSON, and SQLite, or in plain text. Why did you open over here? Oh, I see why. It protects you from you just do JSON? It's another vote for JSON, huh? We're talking about constructors as well. All right, we want to go to here. I guess I can't click on this. Give me this. I was trying to control click it like you would with Word. Let's see if I can find in this guy's code. So this guy wrote a thing here. This is where I got like my map editor stuff. He used to come to chat pretty regularly. He's like pretty good at programming pretty quickly too. Oh right, I forgot he updated it to GD script later. Why was I going here? Oh, because he had a constructor that I wanted to show you guys. Got a question about it. Not a question, an observation. But it's not gonna. If he updated it to GD script, then it's pointless because it's not gonna have the. I think is this the one we were just looking at? I need to let's see because there was two of them. House clean. Yeah, this is the GD script one. The other one is C#. Here we go. Yeah, you know, Stack Overflow, they're also pretty rude. And so that's one of the things that I think ChatGPT does better than Stack Overflow. You can get like a similar answer, but at least ChatGPT isn't so rude about it. And fucking Unity, when I was doing Unity, the responses on Unity, man, those guys are so fucking rude. It's like they're deliberately trying to drive away people from Unity. I'm trying to think where this would have been, where you had all these constructors. It's not really that important. It's probably I'm like sidetracking myself. I like this. These are getter setters. It was, oh, here's one. Okay, so here's an example of what. So this is like, this started me like questioning like, have you? I feel like compared to Unity, it's much more friendly. Though there, you know, the Godot forum, like the actual Godot forum, which I think this one, there's two of them. Yeah, one of these is like just hosted by some person, like it's not part of the Godot Foundation, you know? I think it might be this one. I can't remember, but they're much more dismissive than the other one. So like one of these two, I actually feel like it's this one though with the dark background. So that was what would happen with Unity, though, I feel, too, is they wouldn't have any experience. And when you finally found the guy with the experience, he was a fucking asshole. His name was Kurt. I remember the guy's name. So anyways, back to the constructor thing. I noticed he did this with a constructor, and this made me start thinking differently about constructors because it's like I didn't really understand what they were for. Obviously, they're called a constructor, so it's like it constructs the thing. But see like how you pass in the stuff and it sets these other things. And so they always have to be within these whatever parameters, or we're creating this image or whatever. But yeah, the C# docs are actually pretty good. I'm going back to this thing way over here. They, I was kind of surprised, and I actually, so this is surprisingly enough, this is, Microsoft has actually been getting better at these like learn things. So, in my day job, I'm always going to like look up their crap. And some of them are bad, but some of them, they'll have like these green notes, which I saw one earlier, like at the top that says like, this is how it's supposed to work, but sometimes it doesn't or whatever, All right, what are we looking at here? We're talking about initializing stuff. What do we got here? Automatically implemented properties. Yeah, none of this really matters right now, though. Yeah, but why? So there's two constructors. One you can pass in the name, and one you cannot. This fucking var. Here's the person one you were talking about. Their pet's a person? Oh, this is that thing Joker was talking about a long time. So GD script has, I guess, some similar init thing. Had a class typed initializers. I use var a lot, man. And so I have this problem with teams. I'm sure everyone has problems with teams. All right, we gotta go back to this other thing. We just gotta do it. So I opened a support ticket with Microsoft, and this has been going on for months now, where me and Microsoft do a screen share, and they look at the problem and they say, "Yep, still happens," and then they say, "We'll come back." And so the guy finally, he's like, "I found the solution," and I was like, "Awesome, let's hear the solution." And he starts telling me, and he found like a Reddit post, and I was like, "Dude, your resources are the same as mine, where you're Googling and finding Reddit posts?" Didn't work, but it blew my mind that he's just like, that's his resources the same. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to save. Is this still set up over here? It is. Okay, so we're going to save this resource. So we're going to do that one thing wherever we're at. We don't give a shit about this. Thank you, guys, but I can't get sidetracked on constructors, even though now I need to read more, obviously, about them. Like empty constructor, I want to say, remember there being something about making resource classes needed. Oh, long ago, actually, that same guy that we were just talking about, there's like some constructor built in to a resource that you just don't see, and I had a constructor in one of my resources, and it was causing issues. There was the population data. So let's convert this to a DTO. With two ends? Or they add the one that takes none, or engine serialization data from an instructor won't work right, things like that. So let's convert this to, where's our DTO crap? You gotta put the right letters in. Oh, so we're gonna convert this into the public class. Let's do it the other way then first. Let's save the public class first just to see how that looks. Then we can do the conversion if we have to. And then we'll see how we're gonna deal with that if it's all public classes. So this is serialize it. Convert to save data. Where's our DTO crap? Let's tell it to start over here. There's too much. Let's start with saving a public class to, and we're gonna do YAML just for the fuck of it, because of Stinklewinks. YAML.net. What the fuck is this thing? In your project file, do I have to do that? Do I have to do the package reference for JSON? Don't ask me which one's better. All right, I guess, okay, sorry, Stinglewinks, we're gonna do JSON because I don't want to do the other thing. I don't want to put that. See, it's so easy for me to make a decision. All right, fuck YAML. I don't know. I don't want to pick. No. But we were, we're on net 8. We are on net 8. I'm pretty sure. What about YAML? Is YAML fully supported in net 8? We're just going to dick around so that I don't have to write any code today. All right, so JSON it is. All right. Now I've confused it. Now it's probably too confused. Okay. Can you show me how to save a public class to JSON? All right, there we go. I guess we're going with this. We got our public class. Yeah. Let's copy this thing. Let's put this in here. Let's ditch this thing at the top. What? Did I put that in ready? Oh, no, you got... I'm gonna get rid of this crap. There we go. All right, so we're going to save. We don't need this public class in here either because we have it in another script. Oh, I usually just copy it over, then I go through and edit or use it as a reference. It's because I can't cover up my other monitor because otherwise I cover up chat. If I was working without streaming, I would just have moved ChatGPT to the other monitor. Get this fucking var out of here. So we just need a var or a JSON serializer options right into true. What is this var? Get the fuck out of my face. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we have something called options. Pretty JSON formatting. Definitely want it to be pretty. Everybody wants to be pretty. Serialize the object to a JSON serial. JSON string. Okay, so we're going to pass in we'll make it simple. Well, we don't have anything inside that public class. So we'll do up here. We're going to do a top level public class, top level public class equals, I want to do the thing, this, brackets, not this. I want to put the shit in here. What is it? A string, an int. Oh, we don't have the other test. It doesn't matter though on this. To save load, paste bin. Oh, right up here. I missed the paste bin. Let's take a look here. Pastebin's a pretty good site. It's very small. Like, I need to get glasses and I don't want to. I'm too vain. Core lobby. I need to get chat back up here. New things equals things. Is it? Sorry, I'm back. Is it equals? Is it new? And then you put your garbage in there? Whatever. There was like an int of 10. No, there's something else. I thought it was brackets or something. When host info received. Oh, look, you got a GD print there. Load. Save. Subfolder equals empty. If debug. Man, my lights keep flashing. That's a bad sign. I had a weird... Actually, I was streaming. M said, of course you can ask this silly question. When I was streaming like 2 weeks ago, my power went out. And I was going to just like, restart my stream. But it was out for like 10 minutes and I said, fuck it. All right, so we verify the folder. We got the file path plus history. So you're adding that in. Or you're adding that to the end of the file path. You got a var in there, options, which is the thing we just did. Right indent equals true. Different profiles or different or same install. If British people made a program, wouldn't it? Oh, that was the to in thing that I was asking earlier. And said, is that what it's is in England English? JSON doesn't need space. Yeah, but it looks like dog shit then. Yeah, it's just one big line, and I hate that. Like, it drives me crazy. So when I was saying wherever that beautification thing was, this thing, yeah, this thing 100%. I wasn't doing this before a long time ago. I swear to God, it was like brackets, and then it's been a while since I've done a public class. And then like you would go down here, and you would go like top level public. I don't think you need that though. No, you needed like, what is this thing? It's a string, and then like a comma, and then like 10, and then there was one more thing. Oh shit. We have a let's temporarily get this out of here. What is your problem now? Make it abstract. We don't want this here either. We want this private. We want this to be string. Man, this is bringing back memories. When I had all those public classes. Oh my god. Totally bringing back memories of writing all these things. Now what is your fucking problem? Why do you want to be abstract? Is it because I stuck it inside this other thing? I bet you it is. We could just make a new script real quick. Let's just do that. Because that's how our scripts are actually going to be. What was it? What a top level public class. Because our things, when we do it for real, it will be, whoops, did I have a capital L in there? Motherfucker. It will be its own thing. Get the fuck out of here. No, wait, no, don't get the fuck out of here. You need to be a public class. Oh, and it used to always throw an error. I don't know if it does it. No, it's not going to be a resource. We're going with just a straight public class at this point. No, not abstract. Get the fuck out of here. We want the namespace in there. For now, we'll get rid of this, but we're going to, yeah, we'll leave that there because we are going to want to have it. And these actually will be public to a point. So Casper, that's interesting that's, I couldn't understand why sometimes it was asking me to make a constructor and other times it wasn't. So that, and I never noticed it was the public versus private thing. Why, once again, I'm not going to do it. It's always asking me to make shit fucking abstract. All right, get this. Oh, no, we do need this. This is our new, did we delete this out of this other thing? Yeah, it's gone. So this is out of our resource. I was just trying to be lazy. We got our thing there. These are just an int and a string. So back to this. Can't we just go like this? Public private doesn't matter for construct. Oh, well, it was asking me to do a to create a constructor when these were private. Well, they were inside that stupid resource thing. I was just trying to be lazy and it didn't work. All right, how do you back to this thing? I mean, I can do the new, you know, it will just tell me if I do this thing, I think. No, I got to do a new. All right, I'm thinking of the lists and shit. And then you got a top level public class. If I do this, it will just tell me how to fix it. This will be this. Sure, that's fine. It will say, like, why don't you just do this? We want the int here, and we'll say 10. What? We'll just say 10. And then this thing, we're going to put in here. And then we're going to have this string called JSON. And we're going to put this, our top level. I see chat over there. Let me finish typing here. This is going to be called top level public class, because I just want to make sure that I'm not getting confused. You know, like what IDE do you use? MSED for the semicolon thing. You know, I'm thinking I think, oh, here we go. Now it's going to tell me. See, that's what I was trying to do the whole time. You were right, Casper. I was thinking I could leave out this part, but I guess not. All right, and this is how that giant, you guys probably don't remember this, but the giant population data thing was set up. All right, so we have this. We have this. What does this thing say? Oh, I want to look at your code too. Mongolo. Let's explicitly type that. So we were using the C# thing for some of it. See, this is the problem with ChatGPT. I keep thinking I have two C's in there in the wrong thing. All right. So this is going to say top level public class. You're going to do a new line there? Whatever. Who gives a shit, right? What is your problem? You want to be abstract or something stupid? There was just a typo in there. That's fine. What's your problem? Make it static? Sure. Who cares? You don't like coding that much? I thought you were making some crazy shit over there. This can go away. Let's run our game. See what we just did. All right, that doesn't tell us anything very good here. Godot. Okay, so there's something in here. It's empty. We didn't do it right. As it said, it said it was empty. So what did we do wrong here? Back to our main. We got our top level public class here. And we're supposed to be serializing with these options when they're up there. JSON. We're writing JSON, then we close it. But it didn't do it. User, I'm just making sure there's anything obvious here. There's our serializer. Did I already do this in another? I feel like I already did this before. JSON include. You should probably add JSON include attribute to the thing that should be. What does JSON include? Is that like over here? Is that the thing where you were, what is this? Let's read what this says here. Indicates that the member should be included for serialization and deserialization. Is that what the issue is? I'm going to leave that other one off because I'm just, you know. Fields must have getter setters. All right, so that one worked with the JSON includer thing. Fields, so let's do the other one. Beat with the getter setter. Get, yeah, okay, all right. Oh my God, just do it. Just do it. I hit tab and now something terrible happened. This doesn't go there. Now what is your problem? Rename to top level. I mean, does it really matter right now? All right, let's see. So it has to one of the two, huh? So on your code from your paste bin, wherever that went. If debug File path, verify the folder, which we should definitely do. We're not going to be dumping it right into that one spot. We'll probably, I don't know. I'm thinking we might want to actually break them out into different files. That's how I do it in my other thing, is each one's a different file. I don't know. Is there a class definition in here? Here's a constructor. This is a constructor? I don't know what the fuck this is. No, this is just a method. Kind of, look, there's an export right there. Are you looking at that in the inspector? Wait, we could also test that. Wait, did this thing work? Did I run this? And okay, so a getter setter also works. So we can do so that's two options. Let's go back to this other thing. I'm going to put something else in here. We're going to do export. I don't know, bool. Oh, we can't do an export in. We could, because it will just add Godot. Bool is it. And then we'll go back over to main here. And we'll say, is it true? We forgot our comma. And what? Oh, you're private. Did I just immediately type private there? Let's see here. Here's the class that you serialize. I'm curious if that's the case, Casper. It has 3 read-only fields. Oh, Jesus Christ, read-only fields. I forgot about those things. Okay, so you put JSON include every time. Did I restart this? I don't think export worked. Get out of here. Yeah, so export doesn't work. I'm just like kind of, we're fucking around here, just learning what the way I want to do this is. So here's the constructor. Oh, they're all in one line. I was like, you only have one of them, but no, they're here. They're just all in one line. Why is this here? So JSON is include is the way you do it. And so what if it's a getter setter? I mean, it doesn't have to be a capital, but attribute stores into the compiler in a semi-level like meta info about the thing. So either one of those work. Export doesn't work. I think JSON include was what I would do though, because I want to not have this on all of them unless it's required. What does his look like? Do you have that on yours? I need the other one. Let's move some tabs around here. Yeah. I actually don't really like constructors. They're annoying to me. So when serializing the code, checks the class definition, looks for members they have. So if you don't care public, just make public properties with getter setters less time. But if you want private, then add attribute JSON included. This one has the, so I'm going to make them public, private, depending on what they're needed. But if it's a public class, they're all going to be public, pretty much. I don't know if is that a true statement? That will also kind of throw a wrench into some of this stuff with where my methods are. Is that true though too? Not really. So now since we got this, I'm gonna I'm gonna go like this though. Rename, and let's actually, well, we can't set it if it's private. Let's get rid of this thing. No, we'll have 3 things. Who cares, right? Then actually, let's do this. Let's have it bear, because I want to, what, not export. My fingers are just, the minute I hit the bracket, it's just, I've always typed export, you know what I mean? Because I've done it so many times. My fingers are just like, yeah, that's what you're doing. We're not doing it this. We're going to do a new, we're going to get back to that. We're going to do new script. What is this shit called? Second level public class. Public class. I did the L thing again. Yeah. Well, the export's not going to do anything, and it's only going to cause issues later, so... then this one, what did we have over here? Yeah, this shit doesn't work, but I guess we could copy it over. We could copy this over. God, stop, come on. Get rid of this. We're getting there. We'll come back to your error. Come on. So this is going to be JSON. I kind of vaguely remember this JSON include thing as well from something. I can't remember what it was though. We want these to be public because it's a public class. And then this, we don't actually, this doesn't need to be that complicated. It's more of, we need to add the name space. This is just to test how it looks and whatnot. So then we'll go second, yep. And then we'll call this second level, public class. And then we'll just, well, I forgot a new one there. Or not a new, I forgot a public in there. And then now we have this, we'll go back to main, we'll go back to this thing. If field doesn't have to be public because class is public, then you need the constructor though, right? So this is going to be second. And then we're going to bury some shit in here. So we go new. And then stop it. Then we go. I already forgot what this shit was called. Second level string and second level int. I guess I could have just started typing, right? Perfect. Second level int, sure, 20 is fine. All right, then let's run it and see what it looks like. Let's say you have a private field, but a public property that has backfield, then you can serialize the property instead. What? Oh, I got another hour's passed? Come on. All right, let's look at this though in the notepad piece of shit. Okay, that isn't that bad, honestly. That isn't that bad at all. I fucked with some JSON files. I forget why. It was Python and JSON, and it was such a nightmare. I can't remember why I was doing it. First off, I was getting all of them in big one line. Whoever was giving them to me, they were all one big fucking line. And then I got them to not give them to me in one line, and I think I was opening them in Notepad is the thing. And it was just a nightmare to look at it. And that's why I was like, I don't want to use that. So that's the way I do. That's why I didn't want to do the property. I do like, the getter setters or property or whatever, capital. So that's why I didn't want that other, even though it worked for the serialization or whatever. That's why I didn't like that. This actually doesn't look that bad either. I wonder what I was doing this looks way better, obviously. I don't like this. I wish this was down here. I wish it was like this. Oh, well. Like that. That would be my preferred way to see it. I wonder if I can make it do that. Because that's how it looks like. That's how I do all of my shit, is like that. Yes, we're but do you have to but for every time the failure you got to take one off. So we would start in the negative at the point where we'd be in the negative, and then so that's not that bad. Yeah, what the fuck was I doing? That was so terrible. It was awful. I was having to use that website we went to earlier. The JSON beautifier. This thing, I think. Yeah, it was this. And I was having to paste everything in here. It was awful. And so I'd paste it in here. I would look at it. I would go back. And that's why I was like, I don't want to do JSON. I don't want to do any of this text. Well, I'd rather be able to do it in the... You know why I don't use VS Code? Why don't you use VS Code? I think almost everyone here uses VS Code, besides me. Munglo, you, Casper, you, chat, VS Code? We have, oh, that's a different counter. Yeah, this isn't that bad. I'm going to take a quick break, though. Look at the little freak out it does when I Control Z it. You can see. Your 4 gigabytes of precious dedicated RAM of one. You'll have 1 gig of RAM? Is that possible? So I always tell you guys all the time that I'm an IT manager, and the reason why I do that is so that you know where I'm coming from when I'm talking about stuff. Like if I were just saying like at work I get computers or whatever, it would be strange to like why you get computers. But my coworker, we hired me an assistant. They're like a part-time my assistant. And she already started the IT manager or the IT worker thing where you take home trash. And I remember when I first started, I'd be like, wow, a new computer. It's an old piece of shit computer. And like just an available computer. I'm taking that home. And then you get home and it sits there. It's just trash. It's just trash. And she started that. Yeah. I always tell myself that I'm going to go to the improved Notepad, and then I just never do it. But yeah, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I guess we'll load that. It doesn't really matter. We know that's going to work, and how painful it will be. But yeah, let me throw my break timer, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Except we will minimize this so you can see that. Wow, come on. Break timer. All right, be right back. All right. I am back. Gotta start my music that you guys can't hear. Was the timer going faster than normal? It's what do they call that? Stream elements. Yeah, I totally agree with that. 2025 passing in like 3 days. It feels like it, and I think it's an age thing. Like my dad's birthday happened, then it happened like the next day again, and I was like, what? You know, because from what I hear, it's because you don't you don't encounter new things, so it's slow. Sorry, it's fast. And when you're a kid, you're encountering new things. We are gonna write the load, and it's gonna happen right after. And the reason we're gonna do that is so that I can copy it into the real thing, and then we can do a real test. And I guess this is the way we're gonna have to do it. Well, we can still do the from resource, I suppose. Again, we'll do that part if we have time. It's already 2:16. Are you old? M said. Maybe you need to get out more if you're young. I don't know. That's what I was told. All right. So how do we load this shit? At this stupid JSON former. Yeah. What the fuck was I doing with JSON years ago? When I saw your load in here, so we're gonna steal your code, and we will put in some. We're gonna put in files and shit like that. You have some sort of out. An out? We're just gonna get rid of this stuff. Bool. This is maybe this is a mistake here. We don't need this thing at all. Get out of here completely. File. Oh, we'll just go from. We do need to verify a folder though. At some point. Load content. This is what we'll take. We'll take this line, and I hit something. Go back. I hit Control. C. I want the C. Control C. So what happened to you? It just busted because we got these returns and shit in here, I think. So we're going to load this content. This is going to be all data. What were we loading? What were we saving? I mean, we're just doing... We have a new one of these. So probably what we should do is copy this, get rid of this. We'll stick this up here. We'll deal with that all thing later. I guess we got to do a new. And then down here, this should solve. Can we just do this? Why are you red? I just fucked everything up here. We need this to be up because I want to load it back in. We have a new top level class that's sitting there. Then we need this. We do need this new in here. What is your problem? How did we have this before? Go back. Oh, good God. Why are you red? I've just fucked something up completely here. Go away. We'll come back to you. We have... No, that's right. This is wrong. There we go. We had an extra thing in here. What is... Oh, right. We got to get rid of the static. Of course, it's always the static, and it wants us to put this thing in here. Sure. All right, so we're going to have this new one. We'll go back to here. We just need that one line. I'm always trying to use the shortcuts from writer or whatever. Deserialize, it's not a list. It's top level public class. And then we're going to read all the data from this, which we're not going to do it this way, obviously. We're not going to have this stupid shit embedded down here. We're going to do it like he did it, where we're going to have a variable. This probably needs to be in quotes. And then we're going to go GD print. That's not what I wanted. It was right, and I comma. And we'll put, no, we don't give a shit about that. Like, well, this is good enough. We just want to see what it, because we're creating this thing down here, saving it to disk, then we load it, and then we'll print it, so that way we'll know it works. It will just look like gibberish. Whoops. It will look like gibberish, but we'll know if it works. Maybe. It should just be one line that we got an error. Main 22. Read all text. Top level public class. I'm just making sure that's looking at the right thing. So let's go back over and look at this text, or this code. So he's got a list in his. We don't need a list. File path. What is his file path? File path. If you do complain that load, okay, so his subfolder, he's this should file open. Oh, do we have to open it first? I bet you we have to open it first. I bet you we just need to do the opposite of this. We open it, then we read it. It's a deserializer, huh? What does this say? JSON serialization and deserialization might require types that cannot be statistically analyzed and might need runtime code generation. So this we're missing. No, we got the file in here. And so it has the user path in there, which is this. Opens a text file, reads all the text in the file, and then closes the file. That's what we wanted to do. A string contains all the text. A string containing all the text. This is the thing we already looked at. What does this error actually say? The syntax is wrong. I cannot read that. I need glasses so fucking bad. And I'm just too lazy to do it. What? No, we don't want it on here. No, it's not too late. I'm too vain. Too vain. Directory and it has... Oh, it doesn't know what user is. It's trying to get it directly. Didn't have user over here? It's weird that it, whoops. What the hell did I just paste in here? Undo. Oh my God. It's weird that it, quotes, it's saving this in the right spot. Hit the Windows key. You know, my other keyboard has a button where you can disable the Windows key, which I thought is kind of interesting. It's a video game. See, like, so this one is JSON test, which is what the name of this is, but then it has like this user, like, how did it know to get to here in the first place? Oh, wait, this is the wrong spot completely. So it doesn't understand this at all. Okay, so we need to do, if that's the case, we just need to do the file path. We need a string file path. Can we type today? There's a way to do this there's a way to, it's like a path thing. Convert, and I did it a long time ago for something else. Convert user path. Project globalize path. Project settings globalize. Project settings globalize path. And then we'll go in here and put file path. There we go. That's the, I wonder why this worked then though. This is file access. Is this the Godot version? It is. So this is the Godot one. So we're using Godot here. And then up here we're using the C# thing. Let's see if this works, but I think we should stick with one or the other. And this did work. So this is, you know, we didn't put commas or anything. It just jammed all that crap together. But that's what that did. So let's stick. So if we go with, let's look at file access. Because like I was saying, when I was first using ChatGPT, Jesus Christ, they would switch between the two, and it was so confusing. Fucking get as text. Jesus Christ, I gotta skip this music too. I know you guys can't hear it. All right, so this one we could do the read thing. We read the whole file, but then we need to probably serialize. So we go back to our loading thing. So if we're gonna stick with this, we just do kind of the opposite. We go file, access. Here, let's just copy this thing. Get out of here. So file equals blah, blah, blah. We're not going to need this. Then we go file, open, read. And then we have this file thing. Can we just stick this file right here? This is going to read it. Oh, I see what. So, okay. So we would stick it right here. Nope. File. Nope. What do you want with this? Oh, can we put this thing inside here? Absolutely not. Oh, we got a thing here. But even then. File plus dot. I don't know what you mean. So we're going to read that. Opens the file for read operation, but it doesn't actually read it. It just opens for a read operation. File access object has methods. Oh, right. So, but is this method going to do, can we serialize JSON? Come on, fingers. Because I do remember there being some weirdness with, we could do it this way, I suppose. The problem with the globalized path and local path for when you export to Linux is the problem. Read. Yeah, there's no read in there. Let's do, we might come back to this. Might come back to that. Godot file access to JSON. No, that's this way. You're talking about this way? I'm trying to do it so that they're the same. And I'm going to overwrite it all too. I'm not going to add to it. I like how they stick these videos in here. I mean, that was sarcasm. I don't like it. Use the file access class in write mode and convert. To load, you need to use to open the file, read its contents as text, and then parse the text using the, shut up. We already did that. Get as text, is that what we want? Get as text. Oh, you have that there too. Parse it. Create a JSON object. What are we doing down here? We're using. We've already serialized it up here. So these are, no, they're not. Okay. Well, no, your load works. Your load already works. We already tested that. But your load is using the C# thing. And I want it to be consistent. So your load is using the, this is the C# thing. So this already worked. We already tested that. We're trying to just do it a different way now. This is what this run is. This is this run right here. Because I want to do it with, so this is using the C# and this is using Godot. So I want it to be consistent. So this is Godot's thing. And this is C#'s thing. And I just want it to be the same on both. So if I'm going to use C#, I'm going to use C#. I don't want to have two different things. Yeah, so that's the only thing. You know, I mean, it may be that we can just do C# the whole way, but the problem with the C# way is that you have to. There's an issue with the project doing this later, and I can't remember what it is. But I fuck with this, and there's also like a project settings, local path, localized path, yeah. And I remember fucking with this a long time ago, and there was issues when you wanted to go to like Linux or Mac or whatever. And eventually, I want to be able to export it, so I'm basically trying to not do that. I wish I could remember what the issue was, or what game I was using it on, because then I can pull that up and look at it. So let's see, get as text. So what does this do? It returns the whole thing as a string. So can we stick this in here? Yes, the answer is yes. So then we'll do this. Maybe I should put some commas in here. No, who gives a shit? Yeah, so that works too. So we can do the file access with the Godot file access, as long as I didn't leave this in here. Let's comment this out. Let's run it again. Just make sure. Unless you want to use folder with OS. Well, that's what the user thing is supposed to do. So the user thing is supposed to put it where the OS is. Like, it's supposed to figure, when you do the project settings, if it's exported to whatever Linux, then it's supposed to know where that is. But there was an issue, and I can't remember what it was. So back when I was first messing with this, there was like, I forget what the deal was, but I was doing both, and they would return weird shit. When you use the user thing, or because there's the other one, there's the res thing. And I think, you know, what it was doing is sometimes it would put in an additional slash or something strange. I wish we had that error. Actually, I think I have that error somewhere. So of course, this is the last thing. Yeah, so like you would look at this and there would be like an additional slash. And like you would have to go through and like subtract the slash depending on the OS and stuff. It was really strange. Like you could, yeah, the whole thing was very strange. All right, so we don't have that in there. So this way works too. Let's double check with changing this to, we'll just say this, and we'll close this file because we've been using the same, that was the CK3 thing. We've been using the same save here. And let's do this one more time. Oh, good point. Yeah, so that worked too. So either way, I wish I could remember what game that was in too, and because I might still have it somewhere. Because I could look at my test and it would probably tell me what I was trying to do. I saw loading and I was like, maybe? No. I don't remember where I would have stuck this because I haven't looked at this in, well, it says I opened it in January, which surprised me. Why put an extra? So, because you're not listening. That's the problem. That is the problem. So let's see here. Because the problem is that when you export your game to different operating systems, this isn't going to always work. And so you have to use this weird Git thing to do it correctly. And you can't just do it or C# it and put in a path. And I can't remember what the issue was. And so you had to use the Godot version. Otherwise it wouldn't work. So how do you do it then? How does it know on yours what the so how does it know on yours what operating system it's using? Why would you care? All right, dude. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Hmm. All right, so you need to change your attitude, dude, or I'm gonna ban you. And I'm serious. I don't like how you talk to me, and it pisses me off. So it's that simple. Same with you, Casper. I try to be nice, you guys, and it's extremely frustrating dealing with you two. So that's it. You're on the last thing. I was just hovering over banning both of you right now. And if you don't want to come back, I understand, but you guys got to talk nicer. That's as simple as that. So, and I got 15 minutes left in my stream. Hey, Joker, how are you? So anyways, what were we working on here? Our tests have worked. So where was the final thing we needed to do? Where was the thing? So YAML's not going to work. JSON seems like the best solution. And we got it to serialize. We figured out the other thing. We figured out the public class thing. So we need this. So now we need to do like a more in-depth test. I don't like, I mean, this is not that bad actually in Writer. So we need to we need to pull up 2D4X. So we need to do one of those. And what we'll do, though, is we're not going to actually save it. I mean, we're going to save it, but we're not going to actually interact with the... yeah, so what we'll do is we'll do a JSON save. But we won't be using that data until after we get what we look at it. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll move some of this over. So where was our original save game? That's an auto load, I think. No, we have the save manager. So what we can do is we can save. Oh man, we have the one last test. I forgot that we got to change this. Oh. So let's see here. There was the one last from resource. Yeah, this thing. So we still have a resource here. We got to make this match though. So we have this as 2. Well, you need to get rid of this thing. I forget already why we were doing that. This has to go. And let's see here. Where was this? It was, convert to DTO or whatever the fuck it was called. No, it was before this. I don't want to do before loading. It sucks, though, that we would have to do this extra step. I just want to test it, but it does suck. And I think we will eventually just go all to public classes, but... Where was that thing? Man, I asked it way too many questions. Oh, look, this one is this is the serialization. It was saying to put it directly as the thing, which we've already done that. But it wouldn't be a resource. Let's pretend this was a resource actually. What if we did? Where was that thing? We don't have one in here yet, though. Equals new. It's used right there. Public data. So does this actually work, though? Data. Did I have these different names? Oh, it's got a... Is this private? It's private. Public. Shine, how's it going? Oh man, we have this thing though. I guess it's fine. And then we can go here. This one, oh, it's a level, it's a data. We need to put this public. We'll just do this one. Why is this highlighted or underlined? Run that. So I thought the DTO was where they were talking about converting it back from a DTO to the public class, or sorry, to the resource. But this does look like, so they were saying make it like a DTO first and then turn it into a resource. Yeah, it doesn't know what this is. Top level data. It says it's not used. Is there like a typo in here? Remove, oh, I guess we can just do this. But I don't think that's going to do what, I think it's still going to. Relatively random window errors? Windows is constantly errors. That, you should be used to that. We don't have to initialize these, do we? Maybe we do. This should be, I guess we can do new. Well, we got a null. Eight minutes left. Let's see if we can get this weird. Because once again, I don't know. I think we'll probably convert over to whatchamacallit. We got to do. You know what the deal is? We have to do kind of the same thing we did on this other one. Top level data. What does this thing say? The dot, is it going to have us go back through it? Here, I'm going to just ask it again. How do you go from dot to Godot resource again? So we have our public class. Oh, it's saying just pull it in as a public class and then put it. You can't skip that step. And then you have your little thing. I mean, I guess we'll have to do it, but and then we'll put export. Export's already on here. We'll have to put this is export. That way we can see it in the inspector. Do you use the Shin? Do you use the reliability monitor in Windows? Why do you want to be public? We're using it in here. It's weird that it has that new. Oh, you know what's going on? I bet you the project has this set to. Yeah, so that's what it's saying to do. I don't want to do that, but I guess because it's just an extra step and it's just an extra thing with errors that can happen. But that might be what we have to do temporarily. This is the. I know what my problem is here. This is. We want this to be. I should have left these both here, actually. This needs to be here. Then we need the export top level data. Because I know I'll forget too. That's another problem, is me forgetting. Because we need to be able to see this in here when it's loaded. So I guess that's what we'll do. Is so we're going to put this back to how it was. So this was top level. And this worked perfectly. And let's just double check that before we do the other thing. We're going to update our GD printer back to this. We just need these 2 strings to test. We don't need that other stuff. And then we'll do a new line of that. Whoops. Of this with the data. Well, we'll leave that there for a second, but we're going to re-edit that. I'm running out of time. Dropping it is a big deal. Spilling liquids on it is the thing that happens at my work all the time. All the time, and no one will ever admit it. They don't get, like, we just get them a different one. But so then here we're gonna have, we would do like a conversion class, but we would have to go. Yeah, this is gonna be dumb. So we would go top level data. We have one up here because we want to see it. So we would just go top level data dot to string. Yeah, this is dumb. I mean, I guess we could put the ints, but we actually don't need to put the int because we're not printing it out down here. Well, yeah, we don't. Well, whatever. We'll leave it there. Let's do this. Yep, you were right. Nope, you were wrong. Whoops. Gotta hit enter. Then we go top level public class. Why don't you like this? You need to be new. A lot of times if they just let it sit for a while, like when I say a while, a couple of days, it will just fix itself. Depends on how sticky this stuff is and how long it sat in the water. Top level public class. Do we have to do a new one? Because this is a, whatchamacallit. I can't remember how to do that either. Doing some loading and saving, testing, basically. Not the real loading and saving. I just want to see the different options for how things work. I wonder if we have to do it manually. I bet you we have to do it manually. I was hoping that we could just like stick the whole thing in there, but yeah, we do. That sucks. Then let's put this over here. Because there's a bunch of different ways to do things, and I don't want to make some because this is going to be a huge change to the game, and so I don't want to have to go back again. All right, so we have this going, but we also should be able to go into main. Did I not put an export in this? I did. It's not saved. There we go. It didn't show it though. Are we still running? Yeah, it's still running. This is back to that weird thing that I understand why. What was that? There was some like to make it unique, but this should be. Are we not assigning this to the right one? We make it new. No, this is the right one. What was that weird Godot? Make resource unique. There was some thing. No. Encode that we saw the other day. I think it was last weekend. Maybe it was yesterday. C#. Not duplicate. Not duplicate true. It was some weird thing you could add on the end. What you think about it, research about it, I never figured out is what all works. Coding or life? There was a thing the other day that I saw where they were talking about this, and I was surprised. So it was like a kind of like these things, but I think it was actually at the end you put like, and they were saying that. So that, well, let's see, what was I searching for when that was happening? Godot resource not showing in inspector correctly. They were saying something. You could put a thing on the end to show that. All right, I don't have time. We're running out of time. But this does not show what we want. These are all blank. Did I get rid of that blank thing? And we know it's working because down here, we're getting this. Yes. The answer is yes. That's what so this is the problem, is that there's so much data that's going to be saved, and the way I'm doing it is not going to work. Do I still have that thing in here? It's in the 2D4X here under saves. It's 400K and we're just getting going. It's all of this stuff. And it's saving every variable that needs, that's been changed or updated. And it's also like, so every faction has a unique list of not good. Well, no, it is 3 different unique lists of goods because some are from yesterday, some are the day before, or whatever. And like here's the attributes that are saved for the resources. So this is like this is so they can reference the resources, skill names, like every single one of those things has to be saved. And the problem is that it's throwing errors, but besides that, this is kind of hard to read. This is like kind of like gibberish. And we are going to encrypt the save game eventually, but I wanted for testing be able to read it. And this is confusing as fuck. You take the save file and max it. Yeah. So they just encrypt it so that you can't do that. It's like to avoid cheating. Some of it matters, some of it doesn't. We opened up the CK3 save file earlier, and the what you look like you could change in the save file, but you couldn't change anything else for that. I'm not going to push in code today. But I think I'm going to call it a day because we don't need to push this code. This is just for testing. And I will talk to you guys next weekend. Thank you for dropping by, and I will talk